Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
The San Diego Council on Literacy brings you Literacy for All with your host, Jose Cruz.
Hi, I'm Elisabeth with the San Diego Council on Literacy, filling in today for Jose Cruz. And we have Christelle Jones here from Traveling Stories. She's the Director of Outreach. Welcome, Christelle.
Hi, Elisabeth. How are you?
Hi, I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Good. Thanks for joining us today on the show.
Of course.
Yeah, so we got to talk a little bit with Emily about the program, and she shared a little bit about what you're doing. What is your role in what you do with Traveling Stories?
Yes, you got to talk to our CEO and founder, Emily, who's also my boss. She's awesome. Emily invited us into her community, which is Traveling Stories, and my role here is to be the Director of Outreach and Partnerships. I was recently promoted from Volunteer Coordinator, and I kind of get to do all of those fun roles here at Traveling Stories. So not only do I get to hang out with volunteers and try to recruit them, whether it be individuals or organizations or companies, businesses who want to come out and volunteer with us either as a group or as an individual, get them scheduled. I also do outreach into the community, whether it be media or anything that you can think of that we might need to outreach with a nonprofit. And then I create partnerships as well with those same organizations, groups, and individuals. And I have a blast just hanging out with the community at large.
It sounds like it. What in particular do you enjoy about your job? It sounds like you get to do a lot of fun stuff here in San Diego with kids and literacy.
Absolutely, yes. So we get to help kids fall in love with reading, and every one of our team members here at Traveling Stories loves to read. Of course, our passion is reading, and we get to pass that passion along to kids ages 2 to 12. So, of course, I love helping kids fall in love with reading. I also absolutely love hanging out with our community here at Traveling Stories and also the community at large. We just believe that as a community we can do better, and whether we're helping kids fall in love with reading or we're doing something else in the community, together community and local San Diego gets to get better at being community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Emily shared a little bit of a story or two about things that have happened with Traveling Stories that are really exciting and really special. Do you have any stories that you want to share or experiences you've had with Traveling Stories?
Every time I go to a story tent, I get to read with kids, and that's a blast. Before I was working with Traveling Stories, there was a point in my life where I was actually a preschool teacher, so I get to go back to that time frame of my life. And then also, of course, I have 3 boys. But I love reading with kids. I love circle time. I love story time. So one story that I can think of in particular is Mohammed. He has been coming to our story tent, I want to say, for about 2 years. And I might be a little off there. But he started off as a young reader. He began reading with us when he was, I believe, 11 years old. He began reading so much that he was able to save up enough book bucks to purchase a skateboard. And I'm not sure what Emily told you about our book buck system, but basically when kids come to our story tents, they get to earn book bucks for every book they read. And some kids are able to save up enough to purchase bigger prizes, and those prizes could be anywhere from Legos to bikes to Barbies to dolls to, in this case, a skateboard. And so those bigger book buck items take a while. They take quite a few books to read. So I'm thinking a skateboard might be 200 and something book bucks. So he read quite a bit of books to get that skateboard, and it's been fun to watch him get really excited about that. But the greater story is he outgrew our program. He aged out of it. And so when the time came that he could no longer be part of our reading program, he wanted to be a volunteer.
Oh, how
so now
wonderful.
Mohammed is I know, isn't that fun?
Great.
So now Mohammed is a junior volunteer. He comes out and reads with students, and he has a blast doing that. And a lot of times he's able to relate to students in a way that some of us older people can't. And I've actually seen him really encourage children and youth who are first generation here in America, help them overcome reading obstacles and help them fall in love with reading as well. So that's one of my favorite stories. And then I have a personal story as well. My own son is 13 years old, and he started coming to story tents with me. He kind of had to go along with Mom and be a volunteer, but he was scared to read with kids that are close to his own age. And what's funny is, when you're in community helps each other along, and our own readers encouraged him to read with them. So this vice versa effect kind of took place with my own son, and one of our young readers really wanted my son to read with him, and now my son feels really comfortable coming and volunteering and reading with kids. So it's like this full circle effect. So those are two of my favorite stories that I like to talk about.
Yeah, Emily was talking about how traveling stories really, one of the kids was talking about how it really brings people together and people get to come together there. And you're sort of talking too about how it's being with the community and the community's coming together and supporting each other and just having a lot of fun. And that sounds like something really wonderful that you guys are doing. And you have story tents in several locations, right?
We do. We have story tents. Our primary focus is to go into places where it's low literacy, high poverty. But, of course, everyone needs that chance to fall in love with reading. And I'm a firm believer that the more we read each other's stories, the more we jump into another story, the more we find out that we are more alike than different, and that's the power of story. So no matter where you are in that journey, stories are just so powerful. And, yes, we get to do story tents throughout the community, and so we have a story tent at City Heights Farmers Market on Saturday mornings, Vista Farmers Market on Saturday mornings. We have two story tents that take place Sunday afternoon starting at 1 p.m. One is at Parkway Plaza. That's our El Cajon story tent. And the other one is our La Mesa story tent at Grossmont Center. And then throughout the year, if you keep an eye on our Facebook or any of our social media or our website, you'll see that every once in a while a story tent might pop up. For example, we had a story tent at a San Diego Sockers game last year, and we see the possibility of that happening again in the near future.
Oh, how fun. That sounds wonderful. So
yes.
Do you have a favorite book that you love to share or that you're sharing now that you're excited about?
A favorite book. So when I go read with kids, I like to be able to really engage them in the story because a lot of times our whole purpose is to make reading fun, and not everyone loves to read. We have a lot of readers who are reluctant to go into literacy programs, and we want them to come into our program and feel comfortable. So I love Dr. Seuss books. And the reason I love Dr. Seuss books is a lot of times it's repetitive, it's poetic, and there's colorful pictures. So I like to be able to read with young children, the younger children, probably ages 2 to 6, and be able to not only read with them, but point out pictures or ask them questions about the books or point out colors or engage them in the story and ask questions that kind of get them thinking and having fun and thinking outside the box. So I will go back to Dr. Seuss. As cliche as it sounds, Dr. Seuss is really fun. And I don't know if you know this, but there's actually a Dr. Seuss museum in La Jolla.
Oh, really?
So that's kind of fun to go visit. Yeah, some Dr. Seuss art out there that you can go check out. But, yeah.
That's very fun. That's very fun. So you've talked a little bit about what makes you really excited about your work. So how long have you been with Traveling Stories?
I've been with Traveling Stories for about 1.5 years now. I came here because I was writing for a blog, a local blog, and Traveling Stories found our local blog and reached out to us and asked if we would help promote some of the events they were doing, and that's what caught my attention. I thought, what is this organization called Traveling Stories doing? They're helping kids fall in love with reading. So I kind of watched for a couple years, actually, watched what they were doing, and when a part-time volunteer coordinator position came up, I decided to jump on it. I knew it's something that I would love to do, and at that time I only wanted to work part-time. And eventually my job opened up to a full-time position where I get to do even more of what I love, which is outreach and partnerships. So, yeah, I've been here for 1.5 years. We have a great team. We have Marie, who is director of marketing and kind of keeps keeps us organized here in the office, and we have Heji, who is Director of Programs, and, of course, we have Jake, who is a story tent coordinator. We just have a really, really neat team that comes together and works together to make this whole mission possible.
That's really wonderful. So what are some activities that so it sounds like the kids read with someone there at the tent, or what kind of activities do they do with the books there?
So I'll explain the program a little bit. Our whole mission is to empower kids, and we empower them through a love of reading. And so we invite children and their families to come to our story tent. When they come to a story tent, they read with volunteers who we call reading role models. And our purpose is to really engage them in the story. A lot of times we have reluctant readers, and that's something we love. We love to turn reluctant readers into eager readers. And so they come into our story tent, they read with volunteers. The volunteers will do kind of what I explained that I do a little bit earlier. The volunteers will either read with them, or the kids will read to the volunteers, our reading role models. And we'll engage them in the story by asking questions or pointing out pictures, or maybe asking them what their thoughts are about a certain story. Or the biggest thing is we want kids to choose books that they want to read. If they don't enjoy reading the book, we encourage them to put the book back and go choose another one until they find a book that they like to read. And then out of that, of course, they get to earn their book bucks. So for every book they read, they get to earn book bucks. If it's a chapter book, they're an older reader, then they're reading chapter books. For every 30 pages, they get to earn a book buck, so they can, earn more bucks for the bigger chapter books.
All right, Christelle, we'll be back in a moment after this break and hear a little more.
I've heard this is like one of the best pizza spots in town.
Yes, it is.
I'll do a slice of pepperoni, slice of vegetarian.
You got it.
And I will pay for all of that in 3 days.
In 3 days? What's that mean?
Well, wait, you accept credit cards. That money's not going to hit your account for 3 days anyway.
I need my money quicker.
At Chase, we hear you. With Express Funding, card payments are in your Chase account the next business day. Go to chase.com/expressfunding. Chase for business, so you can.
Compensated participation. All businesses are subject to credit approval. Not all clients are eligible for next business day funding, and additional terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
Donate cash, furniture, clothes, and other gently used household items to Father Joe's Villages and get a nice tax break in April. Every donation is tax deductible. Believe you can make a difference. Be Father Joe. Go to neighborhood.org or call 1-800-HOMELESS to donate today.
Life is full of misadventures, from car crashes to home fires to getting choked out on the mat. Yes, I said getting choked out because I'm Carlos Kramer, jiu-jitsu competitor, MMA and media personality, and mild-mannered insurance agent. You can follow my adventures on Kick-Ass Radio, and I can protect you from life's misadventures at Kramer Insurance. Home, auto, life, business, and workers' comp. We're at KramerINS.com, and I want you to join my world.
This is Bill Gruber with BizVid Communications, a Southern California video production leader. We've been honored to sponsor, produce, write, and host many of the fine programs on WS Radio over the years. So we understand how important the internet and your website exposure are. As video producers, we know the tricks and secrets to incorporate video to increase your search engine optimization and business success. Visit bizvidcommunications.com to see what we can do for you. BIZVID communications.com.
Too much to do? Not enough time to get it done? Call on the experts at Another 8 Hours for your business support needs. By partnering with Another 8 Hours, we allow you to focus on the more important matters, like being in front of your clients, doing what you do best, rather than being stuck at a desk poring over paperwork, rummaging through emails, returning phone calls, and struggling to get everything done by yourself. Meanwhile, your family and social life are going down the drain. Go to another8hours.com or call 8 more hours. That's 866-734-6877.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.
Can you imagine a world without children? A world where children don't play, or dream, or imagine?
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're working every day
to find cures for diseases that strike down children, because we can't imagine a world without children. Can you?
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. To learn how you can help, log on to our website, stjude.org.
Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
The San Diego Council on Literacy brings you Literacy for All with your host, Jose Cruz.
Hi, I'm Elisabeth, and we're back here with Christelle Jones, the Director of Outreach for Traveling Stories. Welcome back, Christelle.
Thank you.
Thank you. You were just talking about some of the activities that the kids do at the story tents with you all over there.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I wanted to make sure you got to share everything that you wanted to share about reading and talking about the stories. And
Yes, I think so. So I was just going to add a little bit to that. So once they read their book, they earn their book bucks. They then get to purchase prizes with those book bucks. And that's one of the ways kids really start wanting to come back to the story tents. It's kind of the thing that hooks them. They earn their book bucks, they get attached to that, and they get to choose prizes. So they get to choose prizes anywhere for one book buck up to hundreds of book bucks. And it can be anywhere from the dollar prizes that you might see in the dollar bins at Target, all the way up to skateboards and Legos and really fun prizes. And right now we're actually in the midst of our holiday toy drive. So we're encouraging businesses to take part so that kids are able to purchase really fun prizes year-round. And so that's the gist of what our story tents are. They're pretty simple, but it's our way of attracting kids and families and helping them to fall in love with reading, which we really believe is a powerful tool and impacts generations.
yeah, that's pretty exciting too, and something really fun for them to be a part of. And it sounds like you already shared some stories of how, kids have come back to be a part of the program, which is pretty wonderful.
Yes, we love that. We love having repeat children come back and repeat families.
Yeah, so you're talking about how one of your big goals is to get kids to fall in love with reading. I think you touched a little bit on some of the ways you go about doing that and strategies. Can you talk a little bit more about how you look at getting kids to really fall in love with reading?
So we really like to encourage them, again, to stumble upon our story tents. We purposely actually have put ourselves in spaces that kids naturally are and aren't necessarily looking for any kind of literacy program. Again, sometimes when kids are forced to go to a program, it's not quite as fun. It's something that they have to do. It's homework. So we purposely put ourselves in places that kids already are, and we very much chose these places. So, for example, we have farmers markets and malls that we are currently in, and then, of course, we're starting to get our pop-up story tents at San Diego Soccer's games with hopes of expanding in the coming years. So by doing that, being places that children naturally are with their families, they stumble across our story tent, they see toys, they see book bucks, they see a lively community having fun together, and they kind of go, what's going on there? I want to be part. What are they doing? And eventually, it's kind of our way. It's our tool, our way of giving back to the community, and our way of making a difference with children, again, for generations, and our way of helping kids fall in love with reading. So it's just one way of getting kids to read and one way of getting kids to fall in love with reading, but it's been a pretty powerful tool here in San Diego.
It sounds pretty amazing. I want to go.
Come out. You're allowed. You come out and meet us. Email me anytime, and we can set up a time for you to come out. We'll give you a little tour, and you can read with some kids as well.
Yeah. So who are some of the champions of your organization?
I am so glad you asked that, and I'm actually pulling up my toy drive list. I did this on purpose because currently, as we mentioned, I think Emily mentioned as well, we are in the midst of our holiday toy drive, and that's where the community kind of comes together, and I can pull up really fun organizations that are getting involved in our toy drive. Again, a big part of falling in love with reading here at our program is the kids get to earn their book bucks and purchase prizes. So some of the community members that are getting involved in our toy drive this year, Cali Comfort Barbecue, an amazing restaurant. Go hang out with Sean Welch, the owner of Cali Comfort Barbecue, and eat some of their barbecue, award-winning barbecue, by the way. SDSU College of Extended Studies is another group, brand new to our toy drive this year. Parkway Plaza, I think Emily mentioned them as well. We also have a story tent at Parkway Plaza. City Heights Farmers Market, they're getting involved in our toy drive, and they've been a great champion. We have a story tent there as well. We have a group from Santa Fe Christian. It's these students who started their own nonprofit called Nova Sparrow. Great to see youth want to be leaders and champion literacy. So that's another brand new group that's getting involved. Platform Science. I'm kind of making my way up. Waypoint Public. We have a story tent there the first Tuesday of every month. We're taking December off. But they've been great champions. They bring us in the first Tuesday of every month. They're going to be part of our toy drive. Stop by, bring a toy if you have a chance. Let's see here. I'm going up a little bit. Oh, McKinney Advisory Group has been amazing, amazing champions of traveling stories in so many ways. The McKinney family has just really helped bring kids out to our story tents and help us financially. That's a great, great group to kind of look up. Schmidt Fire Protection is getting involved with our toy drive this year. And then one of my good friends, Liz McCrae, who is the president and CEO of Brunch Bus San Diego and also Bloody Mary Obsessed in social media. She's putting on a community event for us and trying to fill a bus full of toys for us. December 7th, she's putting on a community event actually at Inside Out, located in Hillcrest. December 7th, 11:30. If the community wants to stop by, bring an unwrapped toy. They will get to get a glass of champagne if they're 21 and older. IDW Publishing, huge, huge supporter of ours. So National University is getting involved. Upsilon Kappa Delta from San Diego State, El Cajon Optimist International, San Diego Reader, amazing champion. They just had us part of their own event and donated some funds to us. And they're also getting involved in our toy drive. So there's a few.
That's a wonderful
named
group
off
of
a bunch
support.
all at once. So there's a few champions, and we want more. The more, the merrier. Again, we believe that community is better together.
Right. So looking at who you have supporting you now and all the wonderful things you're doing, what are some of the successes you have to celebrate, and are there any challenges that you're working on right now?
I like to focus on success. Our successes that we're celebrating, and something that we're doing to kind of move forward this year is we are looking to expand and to grow, and we're looking for help in that. We can't do this alone. We want more children to fall in love with reading. We believe that reading will change lives, and it's a generational thing. We believe that poverty can be eradicated when families fall in love with reading, and it's passed on for generations. So something we're doing right now, we're in the midst of starting a licensing program. We want to license our program in the community, and we want to encourage organizations, businesses, what have you, clubs, to purchase our licensing program. We've actually already seen a success story in that, where an organization, a nonprofit, did purchase a portion of our licensing program. But we would like to be in places like Petco Park. They're so involved with family, and they like to give back. If we could go into something like Petco Park, and children accidentally stumble across our story tent, and there they do what we do at the farmers markets and the malls. They start to read with volunteers or employees, and they get to earn book bucks, and they get to purchase prizes.
Wonderful.
Or a place like Costco, or a place like Target. That is our goal. We want to be in big box markets and where kids already are, and they stumble across our story tent, and just like the 2,000 kids before them that have already had a chance to come to our story tents and fall in love with reading, we want to make it even better and bigger by inviting the community to take part in our licensing program, purchase a licensing program, and see what can happen with that. Much like, IKEA has their own children's center. When you go to IKEA and you're shopping and drop your kids off, we want to see something like that, but with reading, and a focus on reading, and a focus on a love for reading. So I guess that's a challenge and an exciting thing that we're doing to grow in the coming year.
Today, and it's just been a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you so much for sharing about your program, Traveling Stories.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children. After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
In the military, things can change in an instant. Your personal life is just the same. Just like you protect our country, you want your family protected. That's why thousands of military members trust Navy Mutual Life Insurance. Navy Mutual is nonprofit, providing current and former Navy, Marine, and Coast Guard families with life insurance, no sales fees, and no military service restrictions. Protecting members on active duty and beyond. Call 1-800-628-6011, 800-628-6011, NavyMutual.org, insuring those who serve.
Nowadays, internet devices are an integral part of your home. Everyone in your family has a smartphone, tablet, or a computer. Life is easier knowing that all your devices are secured and your family can surf the internet carefree. ESET Multi-Device Security Pack does just that. One license for all your devices. With ESET, it's simple to stay protected and save money. Enjoy safer technology with ESET Multi-Device Security Pack at ESET.com. That's ESET.com.
I've heard this is like one of the best pizza spots in town.
Yes, it is.
I'll do a slice of pepperoni, slice of vegetarian.
You got it.
And I will pay for all of that in 3 days.
In 3 days? What's that mean?
Well, wait, you accept credit cards. That money's not going to hit your account for 3 days anyway.
I need my money quicker.
At Chase, we hear you. With Express Funding, card payments are in your Chase account the next business day. Go to chase.com/expressfunding. Chase for business, so you can.
Compensated participation. All businesses are subject to credit approval. Not all clients are eligible for next business day funding, and additional terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
Tired of presentations with no impact, no inspiration, and no traction? Do dull speakers have you and your team disengaged and distracted by smartphones? Christopher McAuliffe brings energy, insights, and 2 decades of experience, delivered with punch, humor, and heart. Your team will leave energized, uplifted, and with a sense of purpose. Visit ChristopherMcAuliffe.com to bring some heat to your next speaking engagement. McAuliffe. ChristopherMcAuliffe.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. MOZEguitars.com, 619-698-1185.